The image to the right is the Samsung S95D. The image to the left is the Samsung S95D. Now, my Samsung S95D is in game mode. The reason it's in game mode is to show you that you don't even need cinema mode, movie mode, anything fancy. You could literally just do this with game mode to prove that it is not as washed out as some other YouTubers would illustrate. This YouTuber, Tech with KG, is particularly one that irritates me. He makes deers look like black and white images and then pretends that that's what a deer looks like. I've never seen a deer look like a black and white image, but okay. Now, the problem is that he steps into almost an educator's role where he tries to teach people what these TVs can and can't do and to help you buy. Oh, and if you support him, join and just smash his affiliate link, basically. All the while, he literally does no effort into his content. And I'll give you an example. He goes to the store, he buys TVs that are expensive, takes them out of the box, does not touch a single setting on them, and then literally goes to his camera, doesn't touch a single setting on that either, just presses record on automatic ISO and just lets whatever happen. Now, here's the issue with creators like that. That laziness shows you that all they're doing is their hobby. Don't watch somebody do their hobby. You can do it too. You can go to Best Buy, you can start buying shit on a credit card and start putting TV side by side on an HDMI splitter and have your own damn YouTube channel because the level of knowledge he has is the exact same or less than what you have. Because I can guarantee you in your lifetime, you've at least grabbed for a remote and tried to adjust your TV until you were satisfied. He doesn't do that. Instead, he takes TVs out of the box and then arrives somehow at a final verdict as if that's the full story. Now, people who spend $2,000+ on TVs do not, I repeat, do not watch the local news and just call it a day. We don't just take our TVs out of the box and just leave it as is. The only people doing that are probably our grandparents watching the local news. That's real. And they're buying cheap Walmart TVs, not paying $3,000 for a TV. $2,000, $2,500. They're not spending the prices that we're spending on these TVs. And the only reason we're doing that is because most of us are gamers and movie enthusiasts, and we want to see the best possible video quality, which means we usually adjust, we usually calibrate, we usually tinker in some aspect until we're happy. But what Tech with KG would have you believe is that people who drop $2,500+ on a TV, we just take it out of the box, and that's the whole story. But I think what's the most deceptive thing here is he goes at it in a way where he makes you think that is it. The G4 can compete with the S95D, can compete with the S90D. Have you ever thought it a little strange when you actually just look at his footage? Let's say I'm an asshole. What I'm doing is out of line. Haven't you thought it a little strange that the S90D, the G4, and the S95D all look virtually identical when you look at what he's showing in his footage? Have you ever thought that strange? That they look like twinsies when they're not supposed to? You see, the difference and knowledge makes all the difference. You have to truly know what you're doing when you step up to any kind of educational field and start teaching people, but he doesn't. Which is why I say again, you could do it yourself. Open up your YouTube channel, start learning, do what you have to do to make your following. Because I promise you, you know more than Tech with KG. Look at this butterfly. Look at this field of flowers, completely desaturated. Everything about the way he represents content in these TVs is about promoting filmmaker mode, low contrast type images. I don't know where this mental defect started, where we whip cameras out of the box, or we whip TVs out of the box, and we put our camera on auto ISO. And if you think I'm playing about him putting his camera on auto ISO, watch this next example. The camera will over brighten and clip all the details and then dim back down. That's indicative of somebody who didn't even take the time to learn their camera. Imagine being so lazy you want to be a YouTuber, but you didn't even take the time to learn how to record. That's the amount of effort he's putting into YouTube. And he sits there and acts like an educator, like an assistive guide, like some resource of information, when he literally knows no more than a spec sheet. You can go down the list of all the features a TV has and get every bit of the information he knows about it. The only difference is that he is putting them side by side, playing video games on them, and running the Spears and Munsell disc in a couple of YouTube demos. And then somehow he thinks he can arrive at a conclusion. Our Tings hooks up test equipment HDTV Test hooks up test equipment. I hook up test equipment. Digital Trends hooks up test equipment. Where are his credentials? I go to Best Buy and I put shit on my charge card. It's a humiliating thing to even remotely call himself a reviewer. The difference between everyday people and reviewers is supposed to be we put our effort in learning what these TVs can do. We analyze it and we review the whole thing. We push it to its peak performance. We learn about the features and, again, report what it can and can't do based off of analysis. There's none of that happening in this review space. Still to this day, I am the only reviewer that takes the time to even use the extra features. Pretty much everybody else just turns them off, seeing them as useless or something that's just destructive to the image. Meanwhile, there isn't a single soul alive that has been able to beat my calibration results. Not one. I have issued the open challenge for many years now, and not a soul alive could ever step to me. Because I won't be beaten, because while they're sleeping, I'm working. Because I'm learning and honing my craft to be the best I can be to help people. You see, I can't stand when I see this kind of laziness going to something I'm passionate about, much like you. Whatever your talent is, could you imagine some talentless, nobody, lazy sucker gets up there and pretends to be as good as you at something you're good at? You wouldn't be humble either. And that's why I'm not. Because, see, I've spent the time, the sweat, the blood, the tears, the years learning this business. And this little kid is up here playing pretend and playing teacher, and he doesn't even know the basics. That, quite frankly, offends me on a personal level. Because how dare you? How dare you do so little you won't even learn how to record? You won't even learn your camera? You put it in auto ISO for everything? He's as bad as Brian's tech therapy, putting shit in auto ISO on a fucking cell phone. It's a joke. And I am so tired of these guys making a joke out of the review space. Tech therapy? It's therapy time now? I mean, I have such an issue with a lot of the YouTubers in the AV space now because they are not genuine reviewers. They are guys with opinions. And honestly, how are they any different from you? A reviewer is supposed to have knowledge and experience and be able to stand above the pack and educate and help people in ways that are abnormal or above the crowd. Tech with KG knows about as much about TVs as you do, and you probably know more.